Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Tuesday. This is the night before the CPI data comes out tomorrow. We'll take a look at some of the numbers that UBS has provided for us in the past. They were right on for March with an 8.5 core inflation index or core inflation number. We'll take a look to see what they have for April and then kind of give me my thoughts as far as where I think it might be. And then we'll also take a look at, obviously, Riot provided their quarterly results. Cleanspark provided their quarterly results as well. Hive put out some news that we're going to take a look at as well. And we have Digital also provided their production update for April. So we'll take a look at that. So that's kind of exciting there. We'll look at the miners, obviously, Bitcoin, see how it did today, and then we'll call it a day. So as always, not financial advice. You guys know the drill. I'm invested in following coins and companies. And let's get into the miners. So ANY was down today, 1.69%. It's down a little bit in the after hours right now. So it's at $1.13 right now in the after hours. Argo was up 0.31% to 65 cents. Digital was up 1.86% to $1.64. It was up a little bit in the after hours as well to $1.66. Bitfarms was down 3.69% to $2.09. It's up a little bit in the after hours to $2.10. Cleanspark was down, it was up 1.06% to $5.70. It's down now 4.74% in the after hours. So it's at $5.43. Core Scientific was down 4.68% to $4.28. It's up slightly now in the after hours to $4.30. Digihost was down 6.59% to $1.56. DMG was up 2.86% to 28 cents, almost 29 cents. Hive was up 2.59% to $1.19. It's up in the after hours another 5.04% to $1.25, and that might be related to the news that came out today. Hut 8 was down 1.06% to $2.08. It's up a little bit in the after hours to $2.83. Iris Energy was down again quite a bit, 9.86% to $7.68. It's down a little bit more in the after hours to $7.60. Luxxfolio was up 3.92% to 15.9 cents. Marathon was down 2.32% to $11.80. It's down a little bit more in the after hours to $11.77. And Mawson was down, Mawson was down 20.77% to $2.67. Down a little bit now in the after hours as well to $2.63. And Riot was down 1.83% to $7.53. It's up a little bit in the after hours to $7.69. And it looks like it reached a new 52-week low here on the day today. And then Stronghold was down 6.56% to $2.28. It's up slightly in the after hours to $2.32. And it did reach again a new 52-week low on the daily chart here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin was at, I've got Ethereum. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's at 3,000. Wow. It's late, guys. Sorry, it's like 9:30 o'clock right now, so I'm a little beat. So Bitcoin's at 31,500. It did on the daily chart. You can see it here. Come really close to our resistance range now of 32,700. And it obviously came falling back down, so it got rejected from that resistance. And it's trying to possibly muster the strength up again. So on the daily chart, we're still on the RSI we're not low enough, I don't think. I think we can go lower based on what I'm seeing here on the daily chart. If we look at the 1 hour chart, let's take a look, see what's going on here. Obviously, price has been higher here, and the RSI is about the same as we are here, and the price is lower, which leads me to think we're going to be going down lower in the long term here. At least in the next 24, 48 hours or so, we possibly could be going lower. So that's where we are with Bitcoin right now. Ethereum is at 2,378. And the 1 hour chart, looking at the RSI here, RSI was last time about here and about the same range. So we're kind of flat as far as the movement with Ethereum is concerned. Taking a look at the network hash rate for Bitcoin really quick. I want to see what's going on here, see if we're getting new highs. And that, and we are. We've obviously at 221 on the 7-day average. Raw values are kind of in the middle here between our highs and lows here on the daily range. We're in the middle right now, so it does look like it's going up right now on it. All right, so obviously tomorrow morning, probably when this video is going to be out, I'm going to probably post it around 6 o'clock in the morning Central Time, since I still have to process it and then upload it and everything else. It's going to take me a while, so it's not going to go out live tonight. It'll go out tomorrow. But let's take a look at, here it is. So UBS provided their basically estimates as far as what the CPI data is going to look like. They were right on the money in March at 8.5%. They're saying April could be at 8%, which would still be relatively high, pretty high, but at least we're starting to track down lower. I think we might be actually lower than the 8.0. I wouldn't be surprised if we were somewhere between 7.6 and 8 on it. There's some talk in the media and from some of the, what are they called? Not the Fed chairs, Jerome Powell, but some of the other governors, I think, in the Fed. Some have been talking about that they're expecting it to be lower, significantly lower possibly. So we'll see on that. But this is kind of what we're looking at, possibly 8. I think 8% is kind of priced in right now. If it's lower than that, I think that'll be a good sign. So we'll see how that comes out tomorrow. And that comes out tomorrow, I believe, at 8 o'clock, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that looks. And then let's take a look at, first story we'll do is on Hive. So I've talked about Hive numerous times here with their, obviously, updates. And I think in one of the videos I said that I would like to see them basically do like a reverse split. And they are actually talking about it here. So they're going to be doing a proposed consolidation. So kind of like a reverse split, I believe. Hive Blockchain announces proposed 5-to-1 share consolidation. So Hive announced that it intends to complete a consolidation of its common shares on the basis of 5 pre-consolidation common shares for 1 post-consolidation common share. As of the date hereof, there are 411 million roughly common shares issued and outstanding. On a post-consolidation basis, the company shall have approximately 82.2 million common shares issued and outstanding. It is expected the common shares reflecting the consolidation will commence trading on the TSX Venture Exchange and the NASDAQ on or around May 20th, 2022. The company will not be changing its name in connection with the consolidation, which is good because we obviously have brand recognition right now with Hive. Frank Holmes, executive chairman of Hive, stated, in speaking to shareholders at numerous conferences I have attended in the past 60 days, it is apparent that some shareholders are finding it challenging to compare Hive to its industry peers as we have many more shares outstanding, which is true. We're able to compare them because based on the hash rate of shares outstanding, we can run the numbers here on my spreadsheets and we can compare them pretty well. But it is obviously a little bit more difficult if you don't have all that data. Mr. Holmes continued, even though Hive has a higher market capitalization than many of our peers and stronger fundamentals as measured by price to earnings ratios, revenue per employee, and debt to equity ratios, the increased share price creates more institutional visibility because many of their fundamental screens exclude stocks under $5 a share, which is also true. So I think this is all a good thing. Obviously, we're at, what were we at? $1.19, I think. So that would bring us to $6 a share, I believe, once this consolidation happens, if the price stays the same. Continuing on here, so many institutional investors, mutual funds in particular, have policies against taking positions in a stock priced under a minimum share price, regardless of the market capitalization. Hive's share price will increase. However, its market capitalization is not expected to change outside of the effect of market forces. So obviously, as more people maybe become aware of it, price goes up, it pops up on their computer screens, they might be more inclined to invest in it, thus possibly raising the price up a little bit higher because we know that Hive is obviously undervalued right now where it's at currently. All right, so this is obviously good news. I'm all for this. I think this is great because if we look at Hive, let's take a look at Hive compared to some of the other miners. So miner comparison, market cap, shares outstanding, obviously, where is it? Hive has 413 million. I have them at roughly right now. That is in pretty close to where Argo is. Argo has 468 million shares, but it is obviously one of the higher ones here when you look at everybody else. Core Scientific has 316. But there's a lot of stocks like Cleanspark is at only 41 million. Digihost is at 27 million. Hut 8 is 173. Iris 55. Luxxfolio 51. Marathon 106. Mawson at 71. Riot at 117. So this would basically get him in line with most of these other miners here that we cover right now. So that's good. I think that's a good thing. All right, let's get into BitDigital's announcement for April, which I was surprised, to be honest. Going back through the numbers, and when I did the initial deep dive on them, it was hard to find any production updates for monthly updates. So this is actually really good news. Congrats to those guys for putting it, which I think investors really want to see from Bitcoin miners to put out the monthly updates. So thank you to them for doing that. Hopefully they continue doing this month to month. So here we go. Corporate highlights for April 22. This is for Bit Digital. So in April 2022, the company earned 76.23 Bitcoins and 77.32 Ethereum. Treasury holdings of BTC and Ethereum were 754.32 and 323.95 with a fair market value of approximately 28.4 million and 1.1 million respectively on April 30th. The company owned 30,865 Bitcoin miners and 731 Ethereum miners as of April 30th, 2022 with an estimated maximum total hash rate of 1.9 and 0.3 terahash respectively. So for the Ethereum miners, but currently they are only at 34.7 of its currently owned fleet, or 10,215 Bitcoin miners and 713 Ethereum miners, representing 0.552 exahash, so 552 petahash, and 0.188 terahash, respectively, was deployed in North America as of April 30th. So we finally got some numbers for them. So let's take a look at the numbers for them, and then we'll get into the other data for CleanSpark, quarterly results, and also Riot. So Bit Digital, like I said before, I did not have any data for them for March, February, or January. So at least we are starting to get data for them, which is good. So for April, obviously 76.23. Using the closing price of Bitcoin for end of April, we come up with a 2.86 basically million in revenue. And they did provide us with Ethereum, how much they mined. So we do have that as well here updated to, let me see if I can see that. So 77.32 mined at Ethereum closing price of 2,726 roughly. That gets us to about $210,000 in revenue from those miners. So all that combined, we get to about 3.049 million total revenue for the month. And I have them at 573 petahash based on 10,250 miners, unless I'm missing something here or something is wrong. Here I would have to basically bring down these 502 that were added in April down to like a 20 terahash mining speed, which which could be possible, but I just don't know. Based on everything that I did during the deep dive, these are the numbers that I'm coming up with. So I don't know if they were using the average for the month, or that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's maybe the average, but this is what I have right now. So that's kind of what I'm going with right now as 573 petahash. But that could change if we get more data in on that. But right now, that's kind of where I'm at. So all in all, good update, even though it was a slight increase, about 30 petahash or so, or if we're going by 542 for the previous month, we're looking at, 11 petahash increase by what they're reporting. But like I said, I don't know if it's the average or the ending speed. So looking at it right now, we have them at about 8.8 million in revenue roughly for the first quarter. And that gives us basically right now a possibility of, stock price is at $1.64 right now. And that would be basically a price earnings multiple of 11. So that seems a little high to me right now, that they are that much. But obviously that could be based on future hash rate, which they do have a little bit more to get to, obviously about 3 times of what they have now. Actually close to 4 times that, because they're going to be about 1.9. So we'll obviously see if what happens with them. But right now, if that is the case where they are per price to earnings multiple of 11, that seems a little high to me. I wouldn't be surprised. Other miners are way lower than that. They're about 5, 6 or something like that. So I may have to do some digging into this to see why this is the case. Okay. Overall, 754 Bitcoins in HODL, so that's 22.2 million. That equates to about 4.37% of HODL to market cap, and equates to about 0.07 cents per share price. And that's the other thing here. See, I'm showing them future hash rate at 2.76. If they're saying that they are going to be at 1.9, which is what they reported here, 1.9 exahash, and that could be why. Okay, I'll look into it some more. We'll provide an update if I find any major changes to it as far as pricing goes. All right, let's take a look at CleanSpark here right now. So CleanSpark reports second quarter FY 2022 financial results. So I believe this is for the quarter ended in March 31st. So they go into some details here as far as how the quarter did. Here's the important parts here. So revenues for the quarter grew to 41.6 million, an increase of 33.5 million, or 4x from 88.1 million from the same period last year. And this includes other income, not only the mining income. So we'll look at the actual mining income here in a little bit. The company recognized a net loss for the 3 months ended March 31st, 22 of 17 cents or 7.17 million, or basically zero basic loss per share, compared to net income of 7.4 million or 28 basic earnings per share for the same period prior year. Jeez, I'm tired. What else was there here? Assets, so 1.9 million. So obviously they're funding everything they can to their growth. They're selling obviously their coins also that they mine for their growth. Digital currency, so they do have a little bit on that, 17 million. Total current assets is 42 million. Total mining assets, including prepaid deposits deployed miners, is 326 million, so that's really good. Total assets is 424 million. And we'll take a look at to see where they are currently, what their current, market cap is. Liabilities, current liabilities is 22.6 million. Total liabilities, 23.9 million. Total stockholder equity is 400.9 million, which is pretty good. The company had working capital of 19.4 million and no long-term debt as of March 31st, which is good. All right, so let's take a look at the actual mining numbers down here. And it's way down in the weeds. And I did mark it. Okay, so actual digital currency mining revenue net 36,965,739. Payroll expenses still pretty high in my opinion. I know they want to get good talent and everything else, but it still seems kind of high to me. Let me know what you guys think. I'd like to see that come down a little bit. And what else was there? Basic wage, digital currency mining revenue. So energy, hardware, software, and services, that was 4.5 million. Other services revenue was 86,000 roughly. So total revenue was 41.6 million. So good quarter. Obviously the loss is unfortunate, but that could be also based on some impairment charges and the revaluation of the miners, I believe. And what else do we have here? I think that was it. All right, so let's see the numbers that I had. I was pretty close. Not surprisingly, but I was pretty close on it. Okay. So here's the numbers that they actually reported for the mining. I had 37.9 million, so I was off by 2.67%, which is pretty close to where I want to be. I wanted to be at least 2.5 or under, but it's still way better than the previous quarters since we're tracking it now month by month, so that's actually really good. So I was happy to see that. I've updated obviously the numbers here to reflect the most recent information that we have for them. So the last 3 quarters now includes that number in there, which is the actual number. And the current quarter, we're guessing at approximately 27.9 million, obviously because Bitcoin has come down in price and hash rate has increased as well. So we're going to get less revenue based on it unless they actually start pumping out a lot of miners out here, which they still have a lot of miners to get installed, which is a good thing. And they do have some good prospects going forward into 2023 and possibly into 2024 as well. So stock price is obviously $5.70. Price to earnings multiple of 5 right now would get us to $11.35. Market cap is 236 million. So they have actually more assets, right? If we look at their assets that they reported up here, where was it? There, total assets 424.8 million. Current market cap is less than that. That just shows you how undervalued they are. So they are trading at a really, really low price to earnings multiple. My estimates, my numbers, I would have them closer to be possibly to probably around $20 or so, where they should be at around a price to earnings multiple of 10. But they are way undervalued in my opinion right now. So overall, great quarter for them. I'd like to see the numbers come down a little bit on the salaries and compensation for employees. See that come down. I think that would obviously help the numbers for the share earnings. Okay, that's it. On that one, and then let's take a look at Riot here really quick as well. And let's see here, Riot. So Riot is obviously for the first quarter of 2022, which is January, February, and March. And we got some big numbers from them. So increased total revenue by 244% to a record 79.8 million for the 3 months period ending March 31st, as compared to 23.2 million for the same period, for the same 3-month period in 2021. This has other revenue in there as well, hosting, infrastructure, some other things as well, for engineering in there as well that's added into it. So we'll actually look at the mining, which is what I'm interested in. And then increased mining revenue by 150% to a record 57.9 million for the 3 months. So this is the actual number that they're using for the mining. And I was pretty close to that as well. Period ended March 31st as compared to 23.2 million for the same 3-month period 2021. So nice increase over last year. Produced a record net income of 35.6 million for the 3-month period ended March 31st as compared to a net income of 7.5 million. So obviously nice growth there again. Mining revenue margin remained consistent at approximately 67% of mining revenues on year-over-year basis, despite a 12% lower price of BTC in Q1 2022 of 41,241 as compared to 46,000 for the same period in 2021, which is really good as well. Increased BTC production quantity by 186% to a record 1,405 BTC during the 3-month period ended in March 31st, 2022, as compared to 491 BTC during the same period 2021. Now imagine if Bitcoin actually went up to 100,000, it'd be just insane how much they would have made on this. Let's see here. 4% increase over quarter, so that's good. Non-GAAP was 11.7 million adjusted EBITDA for the 3 months, which is also pretty good. And let's see here. A significant percentage of current assets as of March 31st, totaling 439.7 million, are highly liquid. At a quarter end, the cash balance of the company stood at 113.6 million as of April 30th. The company's unaudited BTC quantity was 6,320 BTC, all of which were produced by its self-mining operations. So those were all really good numbers. Net income for the quarter ended March 31st, 2022 was 35.6 million or 30 cents per share as compared to a net income of 77.5 million or 0.9 per share. So obviously a nice increase there to 30 cents per share. Revenue, net income basically. So that was really good. And let's take a look at the numbers here. So total revenue obviously was 57.945 million. They do have hosting revenue. The only thing is I don't know how much they're actually making on that, what the percentage is. For their hosting revenue, we show total revenue. So this is revenue net engineering was 12.12. Other revenue was 24. Mining. So cost of revenue for mining was 19.094 million. And cost of revenue exclusive of depreciation and amortization shown below. So this is for hosting. So this is the part that I don't get. Obviously, cost of revenue was almost 15 million, but you only made 12 million. So are you actually losing money on the hosting part of it? Or where was it? 9 million. There it is. Sorry. So are you losing like 5 million on the hosting part of it? That part just doesn't make sense to me. If you guys know any information on that, I'd be happy to hear it. And then engineering cost of revenues was 11, so they actually made a little bit here on this one. It looks like hosting is just not profitable to me, at least what I'm looking at here, unless I'm seeing something wrong. So let me know what you guys think of that. And let's take a look at Riot's numbers. So Riot is here. So Riot, I was off by 3.1%. I had them at 59.7 million. They came in at 57.9 million. And I was trying to figure out why I was off by that much. I mean, I was using the price of Bitcoin for the end of each month here. And what they were actually mining, 508, 511, 436, and 458 Bitcoins mined. And that's the numbers I was getting for that. So even if I combine those, I'm getting 59.7 million. And we had them at 59.7 million. So I'm not sure why it came down to almost, what is that, 2 million less, roughly. So I got to figure out how are they calculating their Bitcoin generation and how are they basically accounting for it. because that is obviously a pretty big disparity there. But 3.1% is still not bad. I like to see that lower. I like to be within at least under 2.5% if I can. But especially if they're on the downside. If they're on the upside, hey, that's all the better. But on the downside, I'd like to be at least a little bit closer on that. So that still gets us to stock price is 753. They are now price to earnings multiple of around 6, 750. That's 75% net income from gross revenue. So that gets us at 750. They obviously earned a heck of a lot more from other revenues, from other things. And so that's really telling that the stock is way undervalued in my opinion as well. I think it should be closer probably to a PE of like 13, 14, maybe even 15. It should be closer to $18.74. I think plus with their future growth that they're going to be at, they should be really trading at around 20, maybe even 25 price to earnings multiple, around $31, I think. Somewhere around there. But obviously the market is what the market is right now. It's been a tough market, especially the last couple of months. And it doesn't seem like it's easing up at all. But obviously we'll see what the data says tomorrow for the CPI. So that's going to be important, I think, for investors to kind of calm their fears, knowing that possibly the Fed is not going to go too crazy with interest rate hikes going forward if we start seeing that CPI data come lower and lower each month. So fingers crossed, we're going to be under 8, maybe closer to 7.5, which would be nice. And if we're even lower than that, bonus on that one. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, spreadsheet is available to Patreon members. Thank you to Patreon members for their support. And obviously tomorrow we'll discuss the CPI data. We'll see if anybody else reports any quarterly reports, earnings reports, and we'll just see what happens in the markets in general. Right now, it's just kind of in limbo right now, based on waiting on the data for the CPI. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you start making green, I guess, or seeing green. That's it. I'm tired. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.